Hello everyone, Android user here, and today I decided to make a video, a final video you might say, about my phone itself, how I managed to survive using this monstrosity of a phone for 2 years. The short story is that this phone basically had no updates at all, and the only good thing about this phone was that it was one of the last phones that Motorola did not lock the bootloader, so there was a lot of development on the phone itself, which is why I've been able to use it until now. And right now I'm running Gingerbread, surprise surprise, pretty much because even though it can run Jelly Bean and Ice Cream Sandwich, it cannot handle the graphics, and it does not have the processing power to do it. So I decided to stick with Gingerbread because it is the smoothest of all the ROMs. In fact, it's actually on par with some high-end devices that were released in 2012, I can say with confidence. As you can see, I'm just showing some of the apps opening, and in general the interface is very smooth for the most part. And I decided to talk about this phone because if there are anybody that are still using this phone, I have one last ROM that I would like to recommend. I'm going to provide a link below, and it's called Moki, and it's basically the best balance between speed, functionality, and performance. Because the thing with Jelly Bean and Ice Cream Sandwich, which applies to a lot of budget or middle-end devices, is that if you want the best Android experience, going ICS or Jelly Bean probably might not be the best idea because of how graphically demanding they are, how much RAM it demands, and you have to be aware of how fast your phone is actually, how much processing power it actually has. So that is why I'm still using Gingerbread. But enough about that. I'm just gonna go through some of the settings that it has. For one thing, this is one of the working ROMs that can still use the LED notifications, which is located over here. So you can tweak that for phone calls and text messaging, which I use a lot and I can't live without, basically. It has some standard functions such as sound, display, these settings, they're all here. We have ad block, which is a bit newer, I guess, and it can work, and you can add filters and such. And we have switches such as the shutter sound and auto call record. Oh, this is another function where it can automatically record all of your calls. I have no use for that. Accounts and sync, and has the standard as profiles, and accessibility, which is only that one thing, the power button ending the call. I don't use that. And the next thing we have is the system itself. Also notice the interface is a bit better. I sort of like this categorizing, so you can swipe down and you can swipe sideways to go to places, and it gets me to places a lot faster instead of having to swipe it all the way down. Systems, we have wireless settings, calls, application, super user. All these are pretty standard. Some things I want to make a note of is the notification setting, where it can track the limit and everything that you're using. So we have text messages, we have data, and we have call. So it tracks all that and it shows it here. We have mobile data info, call, and message usage. Very useful if you have limited, but I have unlimited of both of these and I don't use data, so I have no use for that. We have device settings, which is in Chinese, of course, because they don't translate all of them. Some things such as 1% increments, it's sort of buggy, it doesn't work all the time. We have the speed of how fast the animations are. I have them set at normal, I think. Yeah, in the middle. And the same thing for here. We also have the we also have the basebands that you can choose, which you only tinker with if you need to, and that is the multi-touch and such. Now to get on to one of the most useful ones is the CyanogenMOD settings, and this is actually the CM7 settings version. Everything that's after it is completely different. So this is the older version, but it's still very useful. It has a lot of great things that you would find on CM. Apparently this ROM is actually a combination of MUI and CM. This is CM, but this is actually part of MUI.